Okay. Hello. I got an exciting show for y'all today. We got three really awesome people hanging out in voice chat that all worked on Blood Nova, which is a game that came out on Wednesday. A classic style point and click adventure game about space princesses and blood and novas? I don't know. I haven't played the whole thing. I'm still trying to figure all that out. But so I'm going to ignore most redeems today, and if I have to, I will turn off the Orin board so that it doesn't interrupt us too bad. But I won't be doing any of the like pre-stream redeems, box of the day, games, news, stuff like that. Let me know as we get started if I need to adjust volumes. I did a cursory balance with everybody, and I think it'll be good. I'm going to run the game a little bit low so that, well, it just doesn't get in the way, right? But let me introduce everybody. Actually, let me let you guys introduce yourselves. I'll let you go around. Aviv, let's start with you.
I'm Aviv, and I've been coding and doing the art for Blood Nova.
So Aviv is Cosmic Void, who we did a week of his games on the stream. Was about 2 months ago. So we kind of went, we kind of went through the origin story of Aviv in game development, which was awesome to see how he grew and just how much better the games got as we went. And this being, you know, the latest. Ross?
Hey. I'm Russ. I'm the writer and designer on Blood Nova. My background is in comic books. I'm a comic book writer. Worked on a bunch of comics, a bunch of games, and this is my first commercial game that I've worked on. Been a lot of fun. So,
Ross, one of the big things that you've worked on in the past, I just want to bring this up real quick so I don't forget it, was the fan comic book Half-Life: A Place in the West.
That's right. Yeah.
Which received some serious critical acclaim. That was kind of a huge deal to have a Half-Life comic book on Steam.
Yeah, it was. I must have missed the acclaim bit, but definitely it was a big deal getting it on Steam. It started as just a fan comic, myself and my co-creator Mike Pelletier like 8 years ago, and we just made the first issue. We went through Steam Greenlight, which was a thing at the time. And Valve got in touch and said, what the hell are you doing? We're just making this comic, and they were like, oh, okay, we'll let you on. And then they gave us the license to Half-Life, and we've been doing that ever since.
That's awesome.
Just very lucky.
In my group of friends, the Half-Life comic book was a big thing. I haven't read it myself. I kind of struggle with comics. It's not quite my cup of tea, but it has been of interest. One day I will, though. More inclined to now.
The first issue is free.
Right.
It's a weird thing. Like, it's hard to. I didn't think it would still be going, but we're halfway through now. Valve have been great to us. It was interesting taking that IP into a different medium, different way of telling the story. So yeah, it's been a real privilege.
Yeah, I was looking. You guys just had a new episode come out this year, a new chapter.
Yeah, chapter 8, Remnant, which puts us well over the halfway mark at this point. So I guess we got like 4 or 5 years left to finish it. At this point, it feels like A Place in the West is just never going to leave my life. But yeah, it's so much fun, especially when Valve aren't doing too much with Half-Life. Obviously, you had Alex, but we've had a lot of free reign, and they've just been so great to us. So yeah, check it out.
Alex was so good. So good.
Ah, brilliant.
I don't want to spoil the end of Alex, but if you have a chance to play Alex in VR, that last like 30 minutes of that is so much power. So good.
Yeah, it just kind of pulls the rug out, reinvents the wheel, and who knows what's next.
And Donovan, you did the music and sound design?
Music, yeah, a couple odd sound effects, but mostly just music, yeah.
So I learned what have you worked on? What other games have you worked on? I did like a cursory search, and I found your website, and then I got totally sidetracked by realizing we lived in the same place for a while.
Yeah, we narrowly missed each other there, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I did music for Blood Nova here, and around the same time, I was working on Kaiju Wars, doing the sound design on that one. Got other couple things on the go here, doing a bit on Songs of Six, which is like a big base builder crazy game. Chicken Journey, it's this little chicken platformer thing, doing music and sound design for that one. And a small puzzle game I did around the same time, I guess, as Blood Nova was Constellations. That came out in January this year.
On your website, which I'll start providing links to stuff here in a minute. On your website, I was looking at the trailer and I was kind of just bouncing through that. There was a VR game in there. Which one was that?
So I've done a few VR projects with one particular company in Canada here that we've done. There's one called the Three Sisters VR and another one called Chiefswood AR, and they were both based around First Nations sort of like national park in Canada here. And we've done a few other related projects like that. So yeah, it's been VR, mobile games, it's been all over the place.
Very, very cool. Okay. So one of the biggest questions I have, so one of the things I love to see is like a dream team come together, working with other people, doing projects. It's something that I love to do on Twitch, working with other streamers, collaborating, making big charity events, having guests on, stuff like that. How did the three of you meet? And whoever wants to answer that can just go for it.
Well, if memory serves, I remember at one time just reading a bunch of reviews on Steam. Don't remember why. And one of them caught my attention. I think it was for a Thief game. It was a Doom game. Don't remember. It was very well written. I mean, really well written. So I remember contacting the writer, which was Ross, and we sort of just then chatted, odd moments, and at some point, It was after, I think, after the launch of the Corruption Within, I showed him a piece of art I was working on, and asked if it's something he would like to collaborate on. And so that pretty much, I think, was the genesis. But maybe Ross remembers more than that.
No, that was definitely it. Yeah, Aviv. I was writing. It was lockdown.
Oh yeah.
You know, there wasn't too much to do with work. I just started writing reviews for games on Steam. Aviv got in touch. We started chatting. I'd always had this dream of making a point-and-click game. And I'd sort of taken a look at Void Breach that Aviv had made, and The Corruption Within was on its way out. And we kind of went through a couple of ideas before we settled on it, and Aviv just started drawing these quite strange rooms with this very interesting color palette, with some interesting decisions in terms of aesthetics.
And this is like the purple and magentas that we see in the final release, like that kind of color.
Those are greens. That came a bit later. At first, I was experimenting with some shore scenes, seaside, and we had an idea to do something on an island. But then I also did some sci-fi drawings, and I like those better. So that it sort of migrated to that.
Once Aviv showed me those kind of sci-fi drawings, there was something about it. There was something. Both, it was more science fantasy than science fiction, and I immediately just saw this opportunity to write something new and create something that I hoped would be original. And Aviv basically just said, "Can you design and write this thing?" And I was like, oh God, oh crap, I don't know. But, I just kind of, then the character of Princess Love kind of came to me, and I imagined a lighthouse, and it just kind of went from there. And it was really one of those wonderful sort of situations where the art was informing the storytelling, and, the storytelling was informing the art. And I just built off what I was being given, and it just kind of went from there. That's how we met. And then Donovan came on board with some incredibly interesting experimental ideas about how to do the soundtrack, and it all just clicked into place. It was lovely.
I've really been in love with the music in this game. Like the little bit that I played in the demo, and I've had the title track in my ears the whole time we've been talking, which has really set a mood. We had talked earlier, and I wanna talk about this real quick because I know Donovan's got limited time today. He'll have to run off in a little bit. But there is another person is working on a DOS port of this, and you had talked about the possibility of getting this soundtrack into MIDI, which for me would be a dream come true. But would you mind sharing what you told me earlier about the process of trying to get that to work? Because I found that really interesting.
Sure, yeah, it's quite a process. So we've talked about it. There are no concrete plans to do the full translation of the score, which is currently in Blood Nova, into a MIDI format. But if the stars aligned and all that, what needs to more or less happen is that any instruments that weren't recorded or produced as MIDI in the first place, let's say things like guitars or any live instruments. I've got a number of hardware synths that I used on Blood Nova. They kind of need to be reverse engineered, right, and translated into MIDI, so transcribed more or less, like someone would write music out by ear. That would have to be done to put them into MIDI, and then depending on our target platform after that, whether it's the Roland MT32, which is not general MIDI, it was sort of a precursor, or if it's something like the Sound Canvas or AdLib, then we would arrange the score to suit those particular sound cards, which gets us into territories with like voice limitations and all sorts of other hardware limitations. So really, it's more of an adaptation of the score, kind of reverse engineering it, just like you would create maybe a piano arrangement from like a rock song, or create an orchestral version of an acoustic guitar song. It's that same idea. You're arranging it for a whole different beast. But I know the possibility of that happening is Certainly enticing and very exciting.
I'll just say that Stephen Dawn is the person working on the DOS version. He's also the person who made the Linux port. He's working on a Mac OS version, and he's just helped me loads putting this thing together technically.
Yeah, I saw that he had like a special credit as what was it, like support or special support.
Oh yeah.
Very, very cool. So this is available on Windows, on Linux. I installed it to my Steam Deck earlier. It doesn't have, you know, full controller support. It doesn't have the interface for it, but you can play it with the mouse. I did have to put mine in Windows compatibility layer to get it to run myself, but it looks beautiful on that little screen. So this is available for multiple devices, but the idea of it coming to DOS is just like, you know, the skies opened up and light shines down and like, oh my god, a new DOS game? Please. It's literally...
Just
Go ahead.
jump in real quick, just say, for me, like, I have playtested this damn game a bazillion times. The best way to play it, everyone, is on the Steam Deck if you have one. It really works there. It really sings.
Yeah, it's
The
such...
DOS box version might even come in a box, by the way, but more news on that later.
Yeah, would you make sure you ping me about that?
Sure.
As a big box collector, I would love that. I'm so enticed. Like the thing that excites me about a DOS version is looking at these art and these vivid colors on my CRT. Like that is, oh, that's gonna be so nice. It would be nuts. Yeah, I appreciate that. One of my chat members redeemed a 1980s phosphorus green filter on the menu screen if y'all wanted to see what it would look like.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah. So there's, you know, another port y'all can work on, or not.
I'd love to.
It still looks good, right? Pixels, yes, exactly. All right, so that's how y'all met. How long have you been working on this game?
Was it a year and a half or
Since
so?
last June, so in 1 year and 3 months, I think.
Wow,
Yeah.
so this got put together really, really quick.
It was quick. I started
Yeah.
petting the story probably late 2020. That's when the ideas started coming together. I don't think Aviv's right in terms of the game's production, but the kind of the themes, the characters, all that stuff, they were gestating for a few months before they went into production.
It was very cool.
I think when I was brought on board, maybe what, it was a year ago? Yeah, maybe a year ago. And that's when some sort of piano sketches started being thrown around. It started quite simply like that. But I'd say probably a year that I've been working with you guys.
Yeah, I think, just over a year, I think.
Yeah, I would say it feels like 2 years for me, but I know that the production was actually quite fast.
Where are some of the places that y'all pulled inspiration from for the setting and the story, the characters, and the music?
Oh my, let's see.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. Take your time.
I
Who
think
wants to
anyway,
go first?
The dome, I think, was inspired by Space Venture, which recently was released for backers. Space Venture is a new adventure game that it's been in the works for a while, and it has a glorious dome section in it. So that's one. What else? Many things were worked on according to descriptions prepared by Ross. So maybe you can shed more light on this.
So for me, like, so Blood and Over was I'd become a little disillusioned with kind of mainstream popular storytelling, right? There was, unlike I actually really loved Ryan Johnson's The Last Jedi. I thought it was an incredible piece of myth making.
That is definitely a subject that we could talk about for hours.
Absolutely, but to me, it was the Star Wars I was looking for, right? It was interrogating, it was questioning about the myths, it sort of opened a door to a kind of a kind of way of looking at Star Wars that hadn't been done before, and I absolutely adored it. And then The Rise of Skywalker came along, which I just detested, which sort of went back on everything, and it was just like this kind of pandering to fans, this kind of just winding the clock back to what we'd all seen. And both J.J. Abrams and Colin Trevorrow, who was originally director on it, said, it was very hard to think of how to follow up The Last Jedi. So I kind of asked myself, well before Aviv had kind of approached me, okay, if I could write a Star Wars sequel to The Last Jedi, what would it look like and how would I do it? Just as a simple, fun exercise. And then I promptly forgot about all of it. And then Aviv came to me and I was like, oh, okay, there's an opportunity here. I wanted to create a world that was both sort of more science fantasy than anything, but had a strong political edge, had a kind of very kind of on the nose social commentary, and kind of challenged how we thought about these concepts. I wanted to do like a kind of reverse Empire, right? I didn't really want to do the whole kind of Republic falls to kind of the Empire and we go from there. I wanted to start with a kind of princess who was about to inherit this throne, and how would you deconstruct that, and how would you look at that in terms of today's lens? And to me, that was just the way forward with Blood and Over. It was about creating a unique universe that was able to kind of comment quite, hopefully very, at least in some way, on the world we live in.
That's it. If I had to guess what story that you pulled from, I would have guessed Dune, right? The son about to inherit the Empire, kind of that kind of story. But I was kind of surprised by the answer.
Yeah, a lot of people say I've never read Dune. The only Dune that I saw the new movie.
That's a really good movie.
It was okay. I am one of the few people on Earth who absolutely adore David Lynch's film.
I also like that one.
Thank you. David does not, but no, it didn't. Dune didn't really play that big of a factor in it. If I could list another influence, it would have been Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' comic book Saga.
I know Saga. I actually have a copy of that.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. It's just such a clever, fresh world. I was kind of reading that. I was thinking, we have an opportunity here to do something similar. We can just go out there and see what we can do, and that's kind of where it was born.
And how about music inspiration?
I just pulled it straight out of my. No, actually, I was thinking about that earlier, where it came from. There were a lot of different suggestions being thrown around. I think from Viv and from Ross, but my first strongest memory is what I didn't want to do with it. When I heard about the sci-fi setting, and when I heard about this, the space, this outer space world and everything, I knew I didn't want to go hardcore synthwave, because I felt it was really saturated at the moment with that big reverby synthwave sound.
Right, like the Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, and yeah, exactly. It was around the cyberpunk, hype too. So I knew that was a direction I didn't want to go in, which is why I think I started, back to basics and just playing around with some simple piano arrangements and piano melody. And piano actually stuck. I originally planned on replacing the piano eventually with a different primary instrument, a different lead instrument, but it worked because I think it embodied the character of love so well. There was kind of an innocence to it. It could be playful. It could evolve into something a little more mature. And there was sort of a regal feeling to it as well. So I knew I wanted to make something that had some pomp, that felt royal. I wanted to have something that could have a wide emotional range as well. And then one of the weird, odd influences early on, I think we even wrote about this in the Kickstarter, was that I was going to have like a spaghetti western flair to it. For some reason, I don't know why that was in my cookbook, but that didn't really make it. There are a few guitars on some of these tracks, but nothing like the good, the bad, and the ugly. But yeah, so it was coming from that direction of not wanting to be too explicitly outer space, although there's a lot of synth on it. Wanting to be eclectic and just fun in general. Very melodic, very big. So that's where that came from. I don't know if I could cite any specific games or artists that would have influenced it. It was it was an evolving process.
Did you find?
Sorry, go on.
I was just wondering. I was wondering if you found, as you like, you know, you're kind of banging out some ideas, and then you like one just really is like you in your head. You're like, that's it. Did because I haven't heard all the music in this. Like I've heard, you know, what's in the demo and the title now. But did you find that like once you had a theme, one song that really jived, that the rest evolved from that? Or did you create different different songs that went with different set pieces? So you'd be given a scene, I assume. And then you know, would you write the music for the scene, or do they all follow the same
a little bit of both, maybe more of the former. There's a track that ended up as the Kickstarter trailer, and it's titled "Royal Blood" on the official OST. That one contains more or less all of the elements that exploded and evolved into the other tracks. So once I came up with the piano melody in there, I knew I had a strong melody for Love that was kind of malleable, that could be adapted and used in a lot of different ways. It had that real driving synthesizer bass to it that's, I think, on basically every track. So that one kind of unlocked the door. But with the nature of the development, I was kind of given one level or one scene at a time almost. So I kind of saw things in little windows. And that did lend itself to a certain eclectic nature to the soundtrack, where I was really writing a specific scene at a specific time, and what it would connect to next was sort of a mystery to me. So it was this balancing act. I tried to keep this commonality that I established early on with Royal Blood and with that piano melody, that theme. And then everything else, though, was sort of a curveball. Like all of a sudden, oh, we've got a carnival, and oh, we've got this scene on a catwalk, and yeah, so it was a really strange mix. But I think we managed to keep some sort of common thread.
That very first song, the trailer song, was inspired by a French song that Donovan and I really liked.
Oh, that's right. You did send me a piano piece by Renaud, or what was the?
Yeah, it was an entire song. Yeah, but we both really like the piano in it specifically.
I think that's the origin of the piano. That's right.
That is the origin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the origin of the piano. So yeah, that stuck around from that early influence.
It's a very famous French song. I think it's called Mistral or something. I also just mentioned that there were a couple of other songs made for the game. One by Jordan Mallory Skinner, and one by Brian Manon.
Very, very.
Yeah, the Ramzap and Astrid. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Ross.
My trick with Donovan was to compile sort of playlists that I wanted him to take inspiration from per scene. And you could literally see Donovan's eyebrow rising as I gave him Lady Gaga and Foxes and various other pop singles. He's like, Lady Gaga, really? I was like, yeah, that's jump off that, buddy.
Yeah.
Which is why I say it's hard to pin it down to any one influence, because then on Aviv's side it was things like more like classic adventure game scores and soundtracks, and then coming from Ross, it was pop music and dance music and electronic stuff, and then so lots of influences. They all kind of ended up in the melting pot in the end. So yeah, it's hard to pin it down to one thing, but I think once we got that Kickstarter song, I had a sonic palette to work with anyway, and then I just sort of grabbed spices from these different influences to go along.
Sonic palette, that's a good one. I like that. So you mentioned that the French and the piano. So are any of you like huge French sci-fi fans, like Barbarella, stuff like that? Because I could also see some parallels to the Space Princess and just a new universe that's self-contained.
Good question. I was inspired by French songs, less by French movies, I suppose.
As French as it gets for me is the Snowpiercer comic. That would probably be
Sure.
probably be it.
God, that is such a dark and depressing story.
Incredibly, and been adapted twice successfly, which is a very rare thing indeed. Yeah, there were so many influences with Blood Nova. Really, it just we stole from everything we could.
I do like that. Yeah, I like that it was very eclectic and very forward thinking in that way. As I absolutely love the retro game scene, and the classic adventure game scene is so much fun. But I'm glad that this one didn't come off, and I think reviewers picked up on this as well. I'm glad it didn't come off as a pastiche to a very, very narrow era of that golden era of DOS adventure games.
I was just
that it escaped.
We really wanted to make a new game. We really wanted to. We knew it would look like an older game, but we really wanted to push the genre, and we really wanted to create something that felt like it was, that it was new. We didn't want it to be nostalgic to such a degree. We wanted it to feel fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I was just thinking to myself, like, what if I did like an event where I was playing point and click adventure games and it was new and old, so it'd be like, King's Quest, Space Quest, Monkey Island, and then like Kathy Rain and Blood Nova. Like, would my brain, if I didn't know what year any of them came out, like, would my brain know if it was a modern game, or that would be kind of an interesting experiment.
I think so. There are some differences in art, in how pixel art was made in those days and how it is made today. I think you can easily pick that up.
Yeah. So, I wanted to talk about the characters in this game, which we are going to play it. I promise we will play the game. I'm just having so much fun talking to you guys. The characters are very well crafted. Like, I mean, I don't know the answer to this, but I would assume that they're crafted after photographs of people or people that you all know. Is there stuff you all can share about how the art was done with the character portraits?
Some characters were inspired. Oh, sorry, what's that?
They were inspired by a variety of different actors and actresses. I would throw images at Aviv, and then he would find a balance between them. But no one specific.
Gotcha. Yeah, because there was I think it's the android that you run into later, the one about an hour into the game or so.
Ava,
yeah. And I just got the weirdest feeling when I saw her face. Like, I know this person. Like, I've seen her before, so I was just wondering,
No, I don't think you have.
You don't think I have?
I think I saw someone on Twitter say it's a cyborg Billie Eilish, and I thought that was great.
There was
brilliant. Yeah, that was great.
I'm trying to remember the name of the show, and I've been trying to think of who she reminds me of, and maybe there was a show called a Canadian sci-fi show called Dark Matter, and they had an android in that show. It's just something about her kind of reminded me of her, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, he kind of looked to me, Ava, because Ava was the only character who was made. Aviv can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ava was the first portrait it was made. But we didn't know who she was. We didn't know she was the custodian of the lighthouse. We didn't, her character wasn't there. Her background wasn't there. And as soon as I saw, thought Anna de Armas. No Time to Die, Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, she's
Knives
fantastic.
Out.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible! I was like, oh, that looks like her. But but the Billie Eilish thing, I was like, yeah, a bit of that too. Yeah, okay, all right. But at that point, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, Okay, well, I don't want to do a kind of cyborg character or an AI character. We need to find some middle ground with her. There's going to be something new about her. But yeah, my thing is, here's a collection of art of kind of actresses and actors. This is what I'm thinking of, and Aviv would go away and come back with a beautiful portrait. I think.
Is that
Ava
pretty?
was indeed the very first one, and like all characters, she's gone through very many iterations until we sort of got it right. She got more and more cyborgy in each iteration.
Is that pretty typical of character design in games from y'all's experience? Just
That what did they go through a lot of iterations?
no,
Oh, yeah.
just where the design comes from. Like I know that like as we've gone in more modern AAA games, we've gone into more mocap and we're starting to look more like the actual actors and actresses that do it. But I've always been curious about this and not known the answer. Where the character faces
corruption
come
within-
from. Part of me wonders a lot of times, some games. Obviously, you guys are giving me your answer, but sometimes you can't help but wonder is oh, this is this designer's girlfriend or sister or the friend they had growing up or something like that.
Well, as Ross said, there were very many ideas that he had how characters should look, what sort of how to say what their character should radiate and you should pick up on. With the corruption routine, it was a bit different. I had more rain to play with. There was a general idea, but I wasn't given a set of characteristics. With Blood, it was way more particular. She needs to be this, she needs to be that, all those things.
Yeah, you got the thing with these characters is they don't emote. They don't. There's no animations. They don't speak. They don't. They're static images. So they have to convey a lot just through the art. So we spent a lot of time getting that right, especially with Love in particular, and characters like Kel and Quelta. It was like, okay, we've got this one chance to get these characters right, and before they even speak, before you even read the text, you need to get a good sense of who they are. And Aviv did that really beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in a game like this, it's not like the typical visual novel where there's three images that just keep popping up in the bottom corners of the screen with text, right? And you get 3 emotes. This one's got a lot more than that. How many? Let's take Love, right? How many images are there of her throughout the game? If you know off the top of your heads.
She appears very many times. She has one version. However, that one version has gone through very many changes. I mean, I can show you the original drawing of her that was made a year ago. And the first thought Ross had when he saw her was she looks drunk. So she had to. So she and I think Cal is.
Oh, that sounds like something I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Also, wasn't there a monocle at one point that we decided against?
There might have been. Yeah. I think Cal has gone through the least changes. I think I got her right early on. But yeah, Love looked drunk. There's another character there, Tyrant Red, which looked way different because I had my own version of him, which didn't quite fit the story and setting. But yeah, all of them have gone through many changes, and but it's only, except for Ava, it's the same drawing throughout the game.
I think the most interesting character we made was Ramzat, the Maralesh seer, the snow globe head. Where I just said to Aviv, can you draw a character with a snow globe for a head, with a snowman in it? And he was like, oh, okay. And he came back with this fantastic portrait, and he's like, so why does he have a snow? Why is he wearing a snow globe? I was like, no, he's not wearing a snow globe. That's just their head. but it just came out beautifully. We're very lucky with that stuff. Very lucky.
Yeah, if there's going to be an identifiable character, I think that's the one. You don't see a snow globe-headed alien all that often.
No, it's amazing.
Not enough. Not enough.
All right. So I know, Donovan, you have to take off pretty soon. You were saying.
Actually, I've been granted the gift of time, so I can hang out.
Perfect. So I think I'm
Just
gonna.
like Quilted himself.
So I think I'm gonna start up the game, and then we can just continue our conversation as we go. And you can say no. You can say no, Ross. Would you like to read the intro text as the writer?
You must.
Okay, sure. Yep. Yeah, I can do that. Yep.
'Cause
Yeah,
we-
I'll do that. That's fine.
All right. So it might be a little bit delayed. I'll just this doesn't auto change anymore, right? I have to click to make the text go by.
Yeah, you can just leave it if you like, and it'll just go through.
Okay. Perfect.
Indeed. The Valayan Empire began in the age of astrologers, they who reached for the heavens and wrapped their fingers in starlight. With the cartographers to guide them, they traced that light across the galaxy. But their dreams exacted a price. One they did not wish to pay. To secure those dreams, an empire was born. It has stood for 3 centuries, even as distant worlds connected to Valaya by star channels have fallen to war. Now the Empress is abdicating. Her eldest daughter, Princess Love, must take her place. On her way to assume the throne, Love has stopped at a lighthouse that stands watch over a star channel on the edge of the galaxy. She and her best friend Kelyakivan face this new future. Ancient forces begin to awaken.
Thank you. That was amazing. That was really, really fun. Thank you. So I'll take over the reading here, and we'll get into the game. I've been staring in to the Nova like the whole time we've been talking, rather than even looking at my webcam. I feel like I've become one with this entity. Love says, we could just stay this way forever. You know, just me, you, and a life of cosmic hijinks. Are you in? Kel says, Love, you're about to take the throne. Hundreds of worlds at your fingertips. Only the Empire is forever. Your Empire. Forget the throne. Forget it all. Let's say we don't get on Lady Quelta's yacht tomorrow. Let's say Bliss takes the throne. So who's Bliss? Bliss is her sister, right? Like, younger sister who isn't up for the throne?
Yes, Bliss is 1 year younger than Love. And by tradition, she cannot take the throne. It's Love's calling.
Gotcha. My sister. Oh no, that answered the question, didn't it? My sister's way more suited to the whole ruling thing. Here's a portrait of Kel. I know this is hard. Your mother's abdication was a surprise to everyone, but it's here now, and it's time to step up. Oh, this art in this one bite is incredible. I don't want the throne, and you know it. I shouldn't have to do anything but decide my own future. You're right, but we both know that's not how it works. Since the day you were born, your destiny has been to rule Valaya. Also, I just have to say, like, these 2 girls are sitting on, like, an antenna array off the side of a space station. Like, what is more epic than that?
A catwalk of sorts, yeah.
Yeah. Totally, just incredible.
Hey, when you're heir to the throne of a galactic empire, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I know. I'm sitting here being jealous. Like, I've had... This evokes a feeling in me. Actually, you know what? When I lived in Fargo Moorhead, Donovan, one of my favorite things to do, a place that I would go to write lyrics and music and stuff for the band, was I would go, they have, you know, like in Fargo Moorhead, there's like a cross, like a north-south highway, and an east-west highway. I forget which ones they're called. But I would sit in the concrete, the under part of them, like there's roads that go under them, over the under the bridges, and I just sit at the top there with a laptop. So like looking at these, and I'd hang out with friends there too, you know, we'd, you know, get our amp and Monster energy drinks, sunflower seeds, and we just hang out in these places.
You were
like,
those guys.
I was, and we just, you know, like, I just don't want to be.
I can picture exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
I spent like an entire summer hanging out with some of the coolest people, some of my best friends in those little underpasses. So like looking at these two girls hanging out here on this catwalk, like looking at a Nova, like I feel something about that when I see this. Love says, "Don't talk to me about Destiny. And when did you ever care about this sort of thing anyway? You've been so weird lately." What happened to my fun-loving, live and let live Royal Sentinel? She grew up. On the far side of the Star Channel, worlds are burning, people are dying. Lately, I haven't been able to stop thinking about that. So there's war and combat and strife and stuff going on the other side.
All the good things.
Yeah. I know what's happening in Joma is horrible, but it's not anything we can fix, Kel. Are you so sure about that? Kel, if there's something you want to say it. In fact, as your princess and future empress, I am ordering you to say it. Now you're getting into the spirit of ruling. Don't change the subject. Speak. All I'm saying is you need to start thinking about the bigger picture. When your mother abdicates, Valea will be yours. Yet you're one of the least responsible people in it. Maybe it's time for you to grow up too. I should have a choice. I thought you'd understand that. You of all people. I do, it's just, forget it. Let's head back inside. Valea's hair shouldn't be gallivanting outside the lighthouse. Now you really have changed. Or wow, you really have changed. So part 1, hit a nerve. The hatch is sealed shut, and the console's telling me that the lighthouse has gone into lockdown. Thank you, by the way, for not having, like, an alarm blaring for the next 12 hours. That's been a thing recently, I've noticed, with a lot of games where, like, something happens, like, Twitch chat absolutely hates it, too. It's just like, oh, I see you're playing a game with my favorite song, and there's just, like, this, like, alarm going off, and you're shooting demons.
First rule of sound design, don't be annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Probably a false alarm. Give me a couple minutes to override the access panel. Princess says, no, I'll solve this. What? Why? It's easy enough to... Because I'm gonna prove to you I can be responsible. Love, come on, stop fooling around, yeah? Don't even think about touching that console. You know what? Fine. Knock yourself out. Tutorial. Before you begin your adventure, here's what you should know. Access your map by hovering over the map icon in the bottom right corner and selecting a location. Your inventory is in the bottom left corner. Left click to select an item, right click to return it to the inventory. When hovering over a hotspot, you will see a red or blue icon. A red icon means the interactions are available. Blue means you've gone through them all, and the last one will repeat. Press escape for options. Click the cog, left corner, yada yada yada. Security console shows Lighthouse has entered into an emergency lockdown. So I really like the way that there's just this, like, kind of fun and trivial puzzle in the beginning of the game to serve as a tutorial, right? Like, you haven't gone into a room where everybody's dead yet. You know, you haven't discovered that in the story. You're not having to... Well, like, I'm thinking about, like, the very first thing you do in... I think it's the first Leisure Suit Larry game. Like, the room is literally on fire. and you're filled with like
37, yeah.
yeah, and like you're like suddenly like thrust into this state of panic. So you guys want to talk a little bit about how you came to design the tutorial this way, and to you guys, what makes a good tutorial?
It's to be simple and show you the different concepts of the game. So this tutorial puzzle shows you that you can combine two items, which is important to show early on that it can be done. It shows you how to collect items, how to interact with hotspots. So these are pretty much the basics for you to understand in order to play the game.
How is there more tutorial in this game, or is that pretty much sum up the entire game, like right off the bat?
That's all the mechanics.
That's the mechanics. I had to convince Aviv to. He had very good reasons for saying no to this, but I was like, look, let's just have them on the catwalk with the wand, with the pipe and the orb, jam them together, you know, teach the player how to combine items. But the idea was that you would have the player create an item that would initially seem superfluous, fairly innocuous, but it would carry through right to the end of the game. There was something important about having Kel and Love outside of the lighthouse before you see everyone dead, and just have them interacting, and that felt like the best way to start the game.
For those that missed it, I just tricked the game devs into giving me the answer to the first puzzle.
Damn it! Damn it!
You got us.
The security console shows that the lighthouse has entered into an emergency lockdown. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so here's my the magical bubble. So now I've got to go find the other part. All right, that's the options menu, and here's the map. So, how did you guys decide on this map? Because out of all the adventure games I've played, this has to be the coolest map. It reminds me of kind of the way movement worked in some of the great RPG games like Anvil of Dawn.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's an evolution of what we had in place in The Corruption Within. Only The Corruption Within was very, situational. You can go north, south, east, west. But how do you do it in space? You have all these floors to go from one another. You can go inside, outside. It wouldn't quite work. This gives you more breathing room, allowing you to basically transition between sections and not just the immediate room to your left or right, that sort of thing.
It's very cool. Okay, so I've taken a peek at the dome from the viewpoint being the airlock that we're in. Lighthouse arboretums tend to mimic local worlds. So the way these work, these lighthouses are they like the tourist stop on the way to the planets that they're nearby? Is that kind of
no?
like
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, lighthouses so there are star channels that lead out of the layer into another galaxy called Jomer, and the lighthouses provide passage through these star channels. Without the lighthouses, you can't get through them.
Gotcha. But the looping veil is so far out that this one is filled with flora from one of the capital planets, Albaca, my mom's home. My memories of her are bound to that place. In the salty sea breeze, the jungles stretched over red cliffs, serene. Her name was Serene. So there's a pond, statue, stuff out here. I don't think it was anything we interact with here. This thing, the broken pipe. Which, yeah. This pipe looks worryingly loose. Oops! I pulled it free. I hope it wasn't attached to anything important. It was like the vent for the life support, and now that's just... Perhaps it'll help me, thank you for the follow, Krillin. Appreciate that. It'll help me unlock the hatch, although I am struggling to see now. Alright, so we know that we can combine these two items. This will only soil my bubble. I have to do it the other way. I can't combine...
Can you combine them?
Ah. I have done this puzzle before, but it's been a couple months and I don't remember.
Don't sweat it. I play tested, and somebody asked me for an answer to a puzzle the other day, and I'm just like, well, maybe go ask Ross.
Pipe with the broken ends. I can't take them apart further. Waiting on your brilliant solution. Exactly. Okay. Security console shows use stuff on stuff. It doesn't look like this problem is related to piping. This will only soil my bubble. Magical thought, my bubble may be. I don't think that it's going to work. The hatch is sealed. But not for long, because I am going to open it somehow. Access panel. Right. Kel says the panel is inoperable. I'd rather not embarrass myself by trying to rewire it. I'll have to find a different solution, so we can't use this on that. Wait, hold on. No. Kel and I are always looking for these little spots. There's nothing quite like being out here. Stars sprinkled over infinity. I love the thrill, but truthfully, it's the only place where being a princess doesn't seem to matter. I feel so small, and that's a relief. How do I combine them?
I would check the map.
One more thing here. Oh, it's grabbing this thing. Whoa, what's this doing dancing around? I've seen a lot of pretty gems in my life, but there's something...
Yeah?
There's something different.
What do you mean?
What's that?
No, you went to pick him up.
Oh. It's sublime.
Oh, no, okay, don't panic.
It's like the orb is very
Call the
tip of the
number on that.
lighthouse.
It's written really tiny. Just call the number, someone will let you know.
Why does it feel like this is singing?
Jesus Christ, just give me that.
Touching it, my hands go all tingly, and without realizing what I am doing, I am placing it in my pocket. Wow, I guess the orb could slot into the... Oh. There's the different orb. The bubble, right. The bubble is the bubble around her is what she's actually wearing. This is the one that goes here. Behold my magical wand. Glow stick, whatever. I'll take it back to Kel and see if an inspiration strikes. Boop. Abracadabra. I should show it to Kel and see if inspiration strikes. Ta-da! Love, I adore you. But it's a pipe with an orb jammed into it. How exactly do you plan to use this on the hatch? We smack the console with it. Problem solved. No, problem created. That'll break the console and trap us on the catwalk. I mean, it might not. I'm kind of being reminded by, like, characters in, y'all have seen Archer, I assume, right? Kind of the banter between them, there's, like, this, like, playful annoyance. I adore it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might just open it. Okay, go ahead. Break the console. I'm waiting. I'm not gonna do that. Didn't think so. You already cracked the security console, didn't you? I did. The hatch is open. Let's get back inside. I'd like to know what triggered that lockdown. Okay, but let's tell people we smacked the console with the wand. And I made it open the door. That would be to admit we were dumb enough to get locked out of the lighthouse. Is that what you'd like the future Empress of the Galaxy, you know, the galaxy to be known for? Just go inside. What's up with the worker? Hey, lady, are you okay? Wait. The air, it tastes... It can't be. Cough, cough, cough. It's in the air. Kel, are you okay? What's going on? What's in the air? Love, don't remove your bubble. There's a neurotoxin in the air. Body's on fire. I can't stand... Cough. I'm not gonna actually cough. Shit, that woman's dead. I'm lucky another few seconds and I'd be down for good, too. Not sure how much longer that'll last. So, Kel does not have a bubble. Or she took it off when she came inside?
Took it off, yeah.
Yeah. If it's leaked here, then it's leaked everywhere. Please don't let us be the only 2 people left on the lighthouse. A leak? Is that what triggered the lockdown? Figure of speech. No way this was an accident. Someone released that neurotoxin on purpose. This lighthouse is under attack. Why would somebody want to attack the lighthouse? Oh, love. Why do you think... It's me, right? Yeah, love, it's you. You need to stay put until the rescue craft arrives. In the event of an emergency lockdown, the lighthouse custodians will have dispatched a distress call. Help should already be on the way. But the toxin you inhaled, can you hold on until someone arrives? Doesn't matter, What's that look on your face? Hey, don't even think about leaving this room, princess. You are not equipped. No way I'm gonna stand here and watch you die. I'm a sentinel. It doesn't matter whether I live or die. The only thing that matters is that you survive. Kel, if there's something else on board that can save your life, tell me, or I swear I'll go anyway. Damn it, love, fine. I'm pretty sure the toxin is circulating in the Plethora X. The toxin that is circulating is Plethora X. It's a weaponized nerve gas. Yeah, we're gonna figure out why the hell there's weaponized nerve gases in a lighthouse. That'll be fun.
Indeed.
If I wanna live, I've got to get it out of my system real soon. There's an antidote for Plethora X in the medical. The level below us. Why would there be nerve gas on a lighthouse? Could always ask GLaDOS, right, Gondolarian? And and how do you know about it? Do you want answers to your questions, or do you want to save me? Antidote for mysterious nerve gas Plethora Z. X. Plethora X. X, that's what I said. Anything else? Just be careful. No stupid risks, alright? Stupid risks? Me? Not a chance. I'll be back soon, I promise. Alright, so now shit has literally... Like, you guys literally did have shit hit the fan and go through the ventilation system. Nice. Broken cartridge. A cartridge broken beyond repair. Dead body? Dead? Which is what Kel's gonna be if I don't get a move on. Maybe there's something useful in the workers' pockets. She was carrying the ladder pass key. Nice, key cards. And a memo. Let's not make taking things from the dead a habit. The memo reads, check new installation, reported all in good shape. Oh, you know, there was actually a question in chat earlier I wanted to ask y'all. What were the unexpected challenges y'all faced making this game in the past year?
Let's see. Unexpected challenges. Well, there were challenges. There have been challenges doing the ports, but that's not something that I can really comment on because Steven is the one who made the port. A lot of the mechanics, things under the hood here are similar to the ones that already exist in the Corruption Within. So I didn't really need to reinvent the wheel.
It sounds like you were like perfectly poised just to pretty much knock this one out.
Well, a few things were tweaked and improved upon, but I don't think anything in particular was very challenging. Unless Ross can remember something.
No, I don't think so. So the...
I will mention one thing. There is one room in the game. It's a desert room. It's opaque. And it's one room, but it was very hard to put together because you have several hotspots, but there are so many different interactions with them, right? So this interaction will take place if A and B are true. However, if A is true and B is false, but C is true, this will take place, and on and on and on and on it goes. So yeah, that was one room. It's one room, but the amount of work it took, it was like doing 5, 6, 7 rooms.
Did y'all have like flow bubbles, like one leads to the other, like a big, like a what is it called? It's like a logic flow chart for that to
Did we?
work.
No, I was not that neat.
So this was based on like memory and like.
Oh, we did have a game design document that we worked with.
I made Aviv work with the most obtuse, difficult, and like jumping through hoops of fire to make this game. So no, there were no. The idea was there were not multiple paths to take because there were no dialogue options. But obviously, a Pecky, as Aviv mentioned, was tricky because there were different ways you could go about it.
I can speak to some challenges with the music. I guess
Sure.
the primary one was creating pieces of music that would be spanning multiple screens in multiple situations. So it was like this balancing act between having each piece of music be appropriate and identifiable and of a particular moment or of a particular screen, but then not at all because it may have to also cover other areas and then likewise unite them. So depending on how many screens it would span or where it would be used or how often it'd be used or with which character would it be used, there was quite a bit of balancing because it's a real mixed bag. Some pieces are very screen specific and they'll only happen in one particular location, like Opeki. And then there's also exploration music, like the stuff you hear now, which spans pretty much the entire lighthouse. On this level anyway. So yeah, that was a bit of a balancing act.
How many? So with the ambient music when you're doing the exploration, because a player could be stuck on this part for, like, I mean, we're gonna sit here and talk for a couple minutes, but like a player could be stuck here for a while. Like how many variations did you go through? Like, did you ever have a moment where like, where like, it's in there and it's like, if this goes on for 15 minutes, it's gonna be annoying as hell.
Yeah. Well, in a perfect world, I would write, a 15-minute piece of music or have some sort of like layering system, right? Where maybe melodies could swap out or drop out,
I could
things
blow
like
up the whole
that.
village.
But yeah, it was just kind of sitting on a screen. I would often get still frames of the screens, and just as I'm producing the music, listening to it and being hyper aware that exactly like you said, people might be on this for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. So you're not you don't want anything to be too much of a hook or an earworm. You want melody, but you don't want it to be like in your face. So yeah, you're going for something that's more driving than ambience, but more ambience than for like a title theme, right? So, and then you just cross your fingers and hope people don't get instantly annoyed with it.
Yeah, and something that I'm hearing from a lot of the music I've heard in this so far is you can't tell where it loops. If I sat and listened to it, I might be able to find it, but you've been in menus where it's clear the music is looped. Like I think everybody's experienced that playing games, and that's a skill. That's a skill. So nice work.
Thanks. Well, and that comes down to programming as well. I mean, Aviv and I worked with different implementation schemes to get those seamless loops happening. And then on a musical level, you just try to find a looping point that wouldn't be obvious musically, like at the very end of a melody or something like that. So yeah, but I mean, even then, if you've got the perfect place to loop musically, you have to worry about that little area of overlap between the end of the file and the beginning. And so yeah, it's art, but it's also a bit of science to it as well. Programming and musicianship.
Very cool. All right, continuing on. Although, again, I had to stress that until they tell us how whatever it is they've installed in engineering is meant to work, I cannot approve turning the damn thing on. They say it's a new power core, but if that's the case, why not just let the engineering staff assess the core for themselves? That was still the note on this guy's body. This terminal over here is a ladder. I think we'll use the ladder passkey here. Card accepted. The hatch opens. Now let's hop in it. I don't think there was anything else that I needed to do in here. I see somebody has found my loop generator on my Twitch stream. Don't need that anymore. The passage to medical level is unlocked. Oh right, I have to use the map. The looping veil. Oh no! Kel was right. The toxin's everywhere. There's over 200 people on the lighthouse, and now they're all gone. Hopefully the security kiosk can help me stop Kel joining them. Dead guard. Why do I have a feeling this searching bodies thing is on its way to becoming a habit? We're gonna search everything. Every nook and cranny.
Everything that's not nailed down.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take a security pass, but I'm not gonna like it. Whenever I show up someplace, just throws things out of whack. Routines have to change. Oh, right, because she's, you know, they need extra security for her, and this time it looks like I got everyone killed, but I just can't think about that right now. Disk drive. Visor calibration device, cup of tea, notepad, security terminal. There might be some sort of record about where medical supplies are kept here. Let's see. Keeper Kreb, as requested, I have been monitoring Dr. Lim's Colgast. He is diligent in his work and liked by everybody. Though I have noted he is suspicious of my posting here. It is possible this has disturbed him. It might help, Keeper Kreb, if you were to tell me what I am looking for. Yours, Officer Brix Vinton. Is this Brix Vinton, the guy here? Did he have a, he did? Okay. Call up Kreb. The Looping Veil's Keeper sent a reply. Vinton, you have been entrusted with a special task. Why that task has been assigned to you is irrelevant. He is a doctor with a particular set of duties, and yours are an officer who is to report any deviation from those duties. I have upgraded security pass to permit access to Colgast's office. I shall request a meeting with him the day after the princess arrives. Once I have provided the time for that meeting, you are to inspect his office for questionable materials. Do your job, do it well, and you will be rewarded, Keeper Kreb. So that is the Lighthouse Keeper. Let's see, surgical areas in here. I have never been able to get over the color palette in this game. It's so vivid and well blended. That is incredible.
It's basically three color bars that are that complement one another stylistically.
When my mother, the Empress, married her handmaiden, the class divide was too much for Valea to swallow. But with all that was forgotten when the wife of the Empress fell ill. The whole empire seemed to mourn. Me and Bliss never left her side, not once. And Kel never left mine. Anybody in chat, by the way, you can just at me in the chat if there's a question that you want me to ask the devs, or you can ask them directly too. And I can pause and let them discuss it. Me and Bliss never left her side. Alright. Welcome in, Raiders. Mr. Bars, thank you so much for the raid. We're having a special stream today. I've got two of the devs and the music creator for Blood Nova hanging out in voice chat, so feel free to hang out and ask questions to the developers. This game came out on Wednesday. It's on Steam. Let me grab a link real quick. Toggle over. Or actually, Typically, if you're available, would you mind grabbing a link from Steam for this? Welcome in, Raiders. I hope your stream went well. The lighthouse's medical facilities are mostly for the operating staff, but this close to the Star Channel, they see a lot of different patients. According to this instrument, the last patient seen here was suffering from Gikoya blood disease.
Perfect pronunciation.
Was it good?
Oh, perfect.
I just have to mention, Ross, it's a perfectly named disease. It sounds horrible to have.
It does. It sounds
that
like
was Gikoya. That was Aviv. That was his name.
Nice job, Aviv. I stand corrected.
yeah, Gikoya definitely like you're gonna have like fluids falling out of parts of your body. You're gonna be coughing like it really. Yeah, nailed it.
Hey, that sounds nice compared to what that does.
Yeah. Okay.
God.
Oh no, we're gonna find out here. There was a recent outbreak nearby, devastating some of the more isolated provinces. It's said to come from the Star Channel. Scalpel, a sharp instrument for surgical incisions. Kel did say be careful. So into my pocket this goes. You know, this is an interesting design choice. I have to make a comment on this. This oval window that clearly goes past the hospital bed, like it gives the impression that like the lighthouse is like a prefab, right? And they've made use of the rooms like not to like any sort of spec like this, you know, would have been any room it could have been, but they've chosen to make it like a hospital bed with this monitoring panel. Kind of, you know, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, the lighthouse predates the medical room, as it were.
So we're talking, it's kind of like, yeah, predates the medical room, sure. So the lighthouse was created by them. It's not something that existed beforehand, like, say, the Citadel in Mass Effect.
Yeah, the lighthouse was built without any real consideration given to the people who would be occupying it. So the lighthouse is much older than this room and all the rest of it. So
very cool. Vast, dark, spotted with lights. Lights of an empire, my empire. Should that much power even be possible? If we just stayed on the catwalk, if we just kept that hatch closed, would time have stood still for us? A small glass container with a sealable lid. Could come in handy. Nice. A device used to separate liquids and gas into a file. There's 3 different settings: temperature, speed, and time. Here it is, the medical cabinet. I'd say that was pretty easy to find, but it's locked. What looks to be a key slot, it's tubular and about the size of a file. That's a really weird locking mechanism. I suppose we can need a different approach. Wall panel. I'll be needing a security pass if I want to go in. Did we pick up? We picked up another one here. Here we go. Unlocked. I'm gonna use our map to get over there. Dr. Colgas. Lim. He was the sweetest guy. With just a smile, he could melt away your fears. It's actually, for a doctor, that's a pretty good quality.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have ever run into this, but sometimes doctors are the weirdest people. You're just like talking to them about your problems, and they're just like, just making this awkward eye contact. Hey Dana, welcome in. I could really use that right now. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I'm kind of in a bind here. Searching another dude. Let's see what you've got. A note? Why write one by hand when you've got a terminal right there? Estria. We've made arrangements for the next ship to transfer you to a safer place. Be ready. I wonder who Estria is. Or was. If they failed to get her on that ship, Let's hope for the former. Doctor's weird. My wife enters the chat, right, Chaz? It's such a strange note. I gotta tell Kel. She and Lim were close. Kel, what's wrong? I'm sorry, Kel. It's Dr. Colgast. He's dead. Yeah, I guessed as much. Lim was a good guy. Not a lot of those in Valleja. He was trying to get someone called Estria off the lighthouse. Do you think she came through the Star Channel? I don't know. But it doesn't matter now. Don't worry about what you can't change. I'm sorry. I should get back to finding that antidote. So, I got a question for y'all. The demo that you have, are you going to be updating the demo, or is that kind of as is? Because there is a demo for this available on Steam.
Yeah, the demo will remain as is. I'd rather not touch it. I mean, too many things can break if you try to.
Sure.
You know, patch old software.
There are different kinds of potions and medicines in the cabinet, but not the antidote I'm looking for. There's one for psychic contamination, which I understand is awful, but super unlikely on a lighthouse. Another is for unexpected physical malformations ongoing to ill-advised contact with channel runes. Ooh, what are channel runes? That's exciting. Oof. Glad I don't have one of those. Ah, here's one. To repel dangerous substances, much simpler. It's the only one here, so I should use it wisely. And if y'all want to interject anything, feel free to butt in. Dr. Colgast's computer might offer a clue on how to unlock the medical cabinet. But there's a passcode. What was the name from the memo? Oh shoot, what was it?
You can always look it again. Look it up again.
Estria?
That dummy does indeed have two heads.
Yes, it does. Oops. Of course I misspelled it.
There are only 2 instances of typing in this game. That's one of them.
Was that in the demo? Was that added later? I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
That was added later, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. That's why I was wondering about the demo getting updated, because I feel like I've run across a couple things that weren't in the demo that I played 2 months ago. The other one I don't remember, and maybe it was there, was I don't remember her calling up on the comm system a floor away.
There's a big one in this room that was not in the demo, but we felt we needed to add it.
Is this normal? Like, are there aliens that have 2 heads in this universe, or is this just kind of like an in-joke?
No, very normal. Very normal.
Okay, alright. See, where I've played through in the demo, I haven't gotten to see any of the really bizarre stuff yet. Like, I did not meet the guy with the fishbowl for the head, or the snow globe for the head. I've seen it in screenshots, though. Alright, I'm in. Estria. She means a lot to him. Thank you for the bits, Grilly. There's an unsent message here. It was supposed to go out to the lighthouse surgeon, Delarina Zato. Dr. Zato, I'm afraid your suspicions may be correct. If so, then we, and perhaps the entire network, are in very grave danger. My main concern is Officer Bricks. As I'm sure you're well aware, he's been keen to police that which requires no policing. First, his vigilance was irksome, now it's downright alarming. I've been able to acquire a sample of the antidote you requested. But if the toxin is here in the quantities you say it is, then it will do little to help us. In the meantime, the antidote has been secured in the surgery's medical cabinet. I entrust you with a special key, that silly file. I acquired from you that conceited trickster Sindel. I suppose he thinks the file is amusing, the price of his discretion, I'm afraid. So, this cabinet, is it like the technology can be keyed to any random object? Or, I guess I don't know what a file is.
Think about it as a test tube.
Right. And that was what my mind evoked as a vial.
Yeah, this universe is very random and strange.
So it's point and click puzzle universe.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. It's sensitive to speeds 829, temperatures of 30, and time whatever the current astral pulse is. Should you have the heart to use it. If anything goes wrong, forgive me. It is to my great regret that I did not act sooner, Lim. Well, Doctor, what sort of trouble were you in? In any case, I've unlocked the laboratory. If the Doctor had time to react to the toxin's release, I doubt this oxygen tank would have helped him. A snug chair that holds pleasant memories. I've unlocked the door, I can go in. Oh, right, map. I've got, like, I love the map system, but I have to break years of clicking on things to go through them.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. We had an idea maybe to allow clicking on doors to sort of go through them, but at the end it didn't go through.
This doesn't look good. There's a fungus everywhere. The bubble I'm wearing can keep me safe, but without modification, it won't prevent the fungus from sticking to me. Right. I already got the potion I need. Container with a sealable lid. This is the repellent. Alright, all I need to do is pour it on the bubble, then let the bubble absorb the potion. And now I should be able to keep...
That was a notorious puzzle in the demo, because it was so poorly hinted what you need to do. So that's where most people got stuck at the demo.
I like how I forgot the very first puzzle, but remembered this one.
You gonna go play outside for a bit?
Well, right. Thanks to the aura projected by my bubble,
Good.
there's now no risk of the fungus sticking to me
Oh.
and contaminating the lighthouse. Score 1 for
I'm
elemental.
so jealous of you.
Philosoph. What was that? It's only been an hour since the toxin leaked, meaning this fungus spread in no time at all. Kind of like the giant space gnat threw up. I don't spend enough time in the sewers to know what the specimens are. They were exposing the fungus to different light waves. One of the experiments showed a remarkable sensitivity to concentrated beams. Hey, welcome in, Team Wildwood. Whoever ordered the test was concerned about its efficacy in the field. Wait, were they testing it as a weapon? So with the sound design for the game, who specifically worked on the sounds? Was this something from like, did you guys create your own sounds, or did you do like a sound pack?
Most sounds in the game were taken from free libraries. There are some sounds that were that Donovan made for the game, but they're not in this area.
Got it. Yeah, I was just
That's
thinking
right,
about...
yeah, there are two ambiences that come up. Oh, and sorry, not just the ambiences. A bit of UI sounds that I did, and then one creature transformation sound. Yeah.
Very cool. I can see more bodies on the other side. This is Dr. Delarina Zato. We didn't speak much, but she had a special radiance to her. It's a little late to impose contaminant procedures. Drawers are all locked. Can they be opened? Can't just cut my way through this. Oops. Drawers are all... Oh, it's another cabinet up there. Got it. If I want to collect this, I'm gonna need something to store it in. All right, we got something like that. Got it. Spore is safely in the contaminated jar. But I need to be careful with this thing. It can grow really quick. Gondolarian is asking what your favorite... what track is your favorite in the game? And that goes for all three of you. What's your favorite track? I'll put you on the spot with Donovan.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't answer that one first. You guys go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, I would say
Apeki
Apeki is beautiful.
One at a time, maybe.
I think also there's a certain sacrifice near the end I can't spoil, but it also has very nice music attached to it.
So Pecky from Ross, that's the...
Well, I would also say Light Dust, which is the the finale kind of ending track is just absolutely sublime, superlative piece of work.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked my music, everybody.
You are not welcome.
No, never did feel that way. Let's see. I think my personal favorite to work on is... it's the music entitled The Veil, and you'll be hearing it in the next chapter. And it's also maybe the one that deviates the most from the themes in the other music. So it's a bit of an oddball. I really enjoyed doing that one.
Is that the kind of relaxed part 2 cafeteria? Yeah.
That one.
That is lovely to listen to. Yeah.
And I'll just say here, there are little effects and noise and things like that I left in that one intentionally, just to give it a bit of a broken, weird feel. Yeah, take a listen for stuff like that.
You know, I clicked on the two-headed dummy, and now I've got another character in here, a Kato, because it's filled with sadness.
That would be the dummies themselves.
The dummies talk.
They do indeed.
Oh shit. I figured it would just be a description of the dummy. I didn't expect it to answer back.
How dare you treat them so poorly?
Yeah. Oh man.
They take their job very seriously.
Bubs. Oh, the other head. 3 good years. Trusted us with all his secrets. Akato. And he just installed the latest firmware update. Holy shit, this thing is like a fully featured VI here. We plan to surprise him with a jolly jingle. How important is it, exactly? That a model torso can sing. As important as the blood in your veins. And keeping cholesterol down. Wow, maybe I'll tap you for that song at some point. It'd be good to ease the burdens of your heart. That's amazing. I'm gonna take a quick break here. I'll run to the restroom if y'all want to take a break. Reconvene in like 2-3 minutes. Sure. All right. I'm gonna go.
I will have to go in about 15 minutes, but
Okay.
I will till you get back. So yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. I'm gonna play some community shoutouts. Y'all enjoy those, and we will be right back.
Great.
Holy shit. Don't fall. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. I just want to savor this fucking moment for a second.
But the rats are back to the left.
Yeah, I got you, Indigo. This is not the first time we've seen the head, so I'm sorry if I'm not like... we were already in here earlier. So what do we do with...
Oh.
Wait, I'm still alive? Okay, never mind, I was...
I'm the mailman. Don't run from me.
Holy fucking shit, it's a dinosaur. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
She's super sweet. I mean, look at her. Have you guys ever seen anything this sweet right here?
Ever seen?
This is it. This is the pinnacle of house cat sweetness. It looks like it's biting me, but it's love. It's like love nods, I think, is what it technically is. Okay, are you just chowing away at my flesh right now? Are we good? All right, I'm gonna put it down. I'm sure it's gonna come back down, but I'm gonna put it down.
Yep. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so Mike was on there for a second. Aviv said that he heard some background noise from me, but thought I'd hit mute. So sorry about that.
Sounds kind of like construction, not magic. Construction is magic. How do you make a wall?
Oh, I also threw up the Bandcamp link in the special guest there. If you wouldn't mind posting that, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there we go. Swap actually worked. Hooray.
Oh, nice. Okay, I wasn't sure what the policy was.
What? I thought swap was going to swap my HP with their HP, not kill me. And as an added bonus, it knocked all of her MP away. So swap is actually bad.
Awesome.
That's right. That's right. That's the vampire way. Shoot him in the back with a shotgun.
I will do that now,
That's how it's done.
shamelessly.
I need no further instructions. I have mastered the skill.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to head off in a bit 'cause it's almost midnight here. But I think you mentioned you like Alex VR, right? Okay, so here's a couple of maps that I wrote that you might want to check out. On the Steam Workshop. I'll link them in the chat for you. There you go. Yeah, so, yeah, if you like Alex, you like those. But otherwise, I'm gonna have to go to bed because it's almost midnight. But thank you so much. Amazing stream. Thank you for playing the game and all the rest of it. Oh, no worries. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the rest of the game as well.
If you want to get your ears rumbled,
take care. Bye.
Just give it a listen.
Bye bye.
See you,
Bye.
Ross. Never changes. No matter how many treats you give Bud, he comes back for more.
That was 7.
Yeah. Hello.
3 minutes. I should have remembered the code.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, that's, like I say, small world. That's crazy. It was not an obvious choice.
Written down the code.
Yeah, like I ended up there, not by fluke, not at all.
Thank God for machine gun.
Oh shit. The guy almost made it to us.
I am.
Oh fuck, bro.
Oh shit.
God damn it. I'm sure glad I paid $40 for a big box of this game, because... Ah. Jabited? I have no idea what that means.
so. Oh no. Right, you could control nature. Right. Did it because we could. We never stopped to think if we should. Alright, so hopefully Ember will be in herself. Yeah, this is really kind of a makeshift table, so I'm hoping it'll work. Code on the bottom of the screen.
Easy peasy. Let's do the game. Good. Words. Sometimes.
My God. Let me reload.
Oh my god! Literally end game. Shit. Cheers.
Alright, awesome. We're back. Ross had to take off. He had someplace he had to be.
Two wings are better than one.
Thank you, Gondolarian, for the low wang audio line. But yeah, definitely, Ross JG in chat shared 2 Steam community files for anybody that's playing, doing VR stuff and has Half-Life Alyx. He just told me about those, that there's 2 maps that he worked on for Half-Life Alyx, as, you know, Steam Workshop mods, which I am going to subscribe to right now, so I don't forget. Half-Life Incursion and Locomotive. I've heard of Locomotive. Interesting. Enjoy your lurk, Krillin. I think, man, maybe sometime this weekend I might break out my VR and check those out. I've been like craving Alyx in such a big way. Okay.
You no mess with Lo Wang.
Hey Slim, welcome in. What was that, Aviv? Alyx is only VR. There is a mod that makes it work on mouse and keyboard, but it's so... The experience, it's so tailored to VR that I just couldn't recommend it. Yeah. There, like, even if we just like narrowed it down to one thing at the very end of the game, which I'm gonna try not to spoil, but you hold an object in your hand that would mean nothing on the mouse and keyboard. Like, every once in a while, the controller of a game becomes the thing that connects you to it. Like, I'm talking, like, and I can only think on like less than a handful of times I've seen that. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Have you all played that? The way it uses the controller with the 2 sticks to control the 2 brothers, there's an event in that game where like the controller's lack of vibration made me just like curl up in a ball and cry for days. Like, every once in a while, like a game actually uses, you know, a control and input mechanic or something to great effect. And VR and Half-Life Alyx definitely did that. At least for me. Oh. Yes, yes. So you're probably talking about Psycho Mantis, right? Yeah, so like Metal Gear Solid 1 had some really impressive things. Like the radio frequency for the girl was only on the back of the jewel case, right? So you had to use everything in your real world disposal. You had to plug in the player 2 to beat Psycho Mantis. Metal Gear Solid did, yeah. I guess that one did a lot. That has to be one of my favorite video games ever, just because it was so outside of the box and on the box. But it's Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing was it was, I don't know if this was poorly designed this way, but you almost had to like run into a real life friend who knew how to do it. You know, who knew where that or the radio code was, or how to beat Psycho Mantis. And I think you could beat Psycho Mantis in player 1, but it would take hours. I haven't played that. What do they have in that one? Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. I wonder how many people put in 451 or is it 415? The the classic System Shock password. Just trying. Oh no! I am so sorry. I had you guys muted in the BRB screen. Alright. I am sorry about that.
Good.
Okay, you guys are unmuted. I'm sorry about that, everybody. We were talking about, I'm sure you heard what I was saying, but we were talking about Code Veronica, using Veronica as the password, but you wouldn't have known that if, I mean, you just wouldn't have known that. And Metal Gear Solid with the Psycho Mantis fight, yeah. Okay, we need to go figure out the file thing. I'm probably going to go for about 15, 20 more minutes or so.
Sounds good.
About the point my wife's going to be home.
I'm hoping you'll get to see the snow globe-headed guy in that 15 minutes. I think possible.
Well, walk me through what I need to do real quick, and let's make sure we get to it. Let's do that.
Show me your inventory again.
Yep. I got the fungal spore.
Alright, so you need to go to the lab, and there is something to get there from one of the scientists. Yeah.
A little late to impose contaminant procedures. Her coal gas said he charged Dr. Zato with possession of the key. Alright, she's got the key. Did I get it? No.
No, you need to retrieve it somehow. She's covered in
oh,
fungus.
right. Okay. Cut. We're gonna cut her. I cut away some of this gunk. Yuck. The fungus bleeds. It's secreting ooze. Shit. I've dropped the scalpel. Alright, we lost our tool. The blade's swamped by fungus now. Still, I managed to get the file she was holding. Cool, so she had the key. Unfortunately, it's lathered in ooze. I'll have to clear it off before the file can be of any use. And we don't have file containing ooze, fungal spore. Gotta find something to clean it on.
Yeah, there is something that can help you with that in the kiosk. Security kiosk.
Okay, security kiosk. We're talking about this guy right here, the security terminal?
Yeah, there's something in this room that can pulverize the fungus.
Grab even updated brick security pass. Notepad, cup of tea. Cup of tea is cold. I usually take it warm. Cool guys, Zato's giving me the runaround. What are they up to? Seems like Bricks here was suspicious. Excuse me. Of the lighthouse's doctors. Disk drive. Remotely control different parts. Calibration device. It's a lens that emits a laser recalibrating the guard's visors. All the lighthouse security personnel wear one. The visor looks sort of spooky, honestly. What am I looking for here?
So in the lab, there was a message on the computer that they were experimenting with ways to kill the fungus, and one of the ways was the emitting.
Oh, that's right. It was okay. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna use this thing. Yeah. The high intensity beam has burned away the fungus, revealing the file has got to be the key that Colgas was talking about. Now to figure out how to use it.
So now you're missing one piece of information on how to.
I need to do like there was like the measurement of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I needed I put the file in the slot, but nothing's happening. Something must be. Okay. This wand. I remember this. There was a tool I needed somewhere.
Yeah, you need to interact a second time with a certain something in the doctor's office.
Okay.
There should be another red interaction, right? Yeah.
Come on, let's just hear this jolly jingle. You really want to? I really want to. Really, really? Yes, let's have it. Okay, well, it's been retooled to reflect the circumstances. Theatrical clearing of throat. More of the same. Oh, Dr. Colgas, your knowledge was so vast. You mended many a heart and precipitated many an anal leak. What? You had the widest smile in all of Valea. We only wish it remained on this side of the mortal veil. Sniff, sniff. Right, Gondolarian?
Now, I gotta tell you here. Ross approached me asking if these lyrics would be something I could put into a melody, and I told him not so sure.
Not so sure. It's like you never thought in your entire life you were gonna have to put anal leak to a melody.
Yeah. But perhaps in a director's cut or something of Blood Nova, I don't know, we can work that out.
Director's cut, there'll just be like this rap song at the end.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sniff, sniff. He did. Thank God it wasn't a pro. Right, Gondolarian? He did have the widest smile in all of Valea. This is an oscillator. It just popped out from behind your heart. Right. Yes, I remember that. You've earned it. Any friend of Dr. Colgas is a friend of ours. He won't be needing it anymore. But why did he have it? Why keep it hidden? Dr. Colgas kept many secrets. This won't be the last, but it's all we have. I see. Well, an oscillator can measure the pulse of literally anything with a beat. If it mattered to Lim, maybe I can find a use for it. Thanks, guys. Fairly well. Boop, boop, boop. It's picking up the pulse outside the lighthouse. There's a reading, very faint from here. Did I get it? Did it actually do it? Must have. So, there we go. File, the cabinet. I put it in. There must be something wrong. Did this actually work when I did it on the window, or is it something else I needed to do?
It says it's the reading is faint from here.
Oh, I gotta go back out onto the top. Do it from here. Here we go. Alright, let's try the oscillator out. Lots of whirring and beeping. Wow, so Quasar pulses 600 times per minute, which means 10 times a second. Talk about a rapid beat. I hope this comes up in a quiz someday. I suppose that's the astral time figured I'd need for the centrifuge. Alright. she's like that. That doesn't have a pulse to measure. No. The file fits into the slot. According to Dr. Kolgask, in order to create the right composition within the file to unlock the cabinet, the centrifuge needs to be set to 829, temperature 30°C, and 10 seconds, the equivalent of the Quinzar's 600 pulses per minute. Here's hoping that did it. I can't imagine Kel has much time left.
It was pretty cool the way that facts like that maybe you'd normally write down as you're playing an adventure game were just committed to the player's memory, because I guess that only makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes writing things down.
You know, like I've seen a lot of Twitch streamers like make a big thing about like we're gonna graph out this entire game's map, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't. I can't. Like, ugh. It's already bad enough that I know like a game like that, like where I have to map out like an old RPG, is gonna take 600 streams, and that's all I'm gonna do for a year. But to have to like really do that, it might be a challenge for me one day. But I'm glad that I don't have to take notes.
Yeah. I guess it depends which side you come down on. I think some people find it almost stretches out the gameplay. It's like another dimension to it.
Sure.
But with trivial things like this, I think this was the correct approach.
You know, I don't know if y'all do it too, but like sometimes I run across something like that and I write it down, and every once in a while, like I'll have like a notebook full of like random things from a puzzle game because I don't know what it's gonna do, whether it's gonna make me remember it, right? It's like it's like the Metal Gear Solid thing. Like, when am I gonna need that?
Yeah.
Toasty's asking if this is EGA. It is not. It's a modern color palette.
Yeah, it's not EGA, but it is limited in. It resembles it, I suppose.
Composition right. The cabinet should unlock when I insert the file. Hey, it works. Go me. I love that line. I had a friend that would say like random little like self-congratulatory excerpts. I think is what I want to call them. So it's like, yay me, I love me. Like, I'm very fond of that person, so I enjoyed this being here.
It's very princess love to be self-congratulatory.
It is very princess in general, yes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Kel was right. Here's the antidote, Plethora X. Let's get this back to her on the double. All right, let's go save our friend, or our bodyguard, I should say.
Or Sentinel. Royal Sentinel.
Kel, I found it. I found the antidote. For real? I've got it right here. Show me your arm, quick. Cough. And not a moment too soon. Oh, yeah. How do you feel? It's gonna take a while to flush this poison out of my system. But we're over the worst of it. I owe you, love. You saved my life, thank you. You don't owe me anything. You've been keeping me safe for years. Yeah, because I swore an oath to protect you. Now here you are saving me. I don't care about your oath. You're my best friend. I'll always help you, no matter what. I don't doubt it. Hey, you didn't happen to hear from the lighthouse custodian, did you? Ava? No. Not a thing. Should I? Don't you think it's weird that we haven't heard from her? She would be immune to the toxin. Of course, it's possible she was disabled as part of the wider attack on the lighthouse. If we want to better understand what's going on here, we're gonna need to find out what happened to her. Ready for another adventure? I don't feel like I have much of a choice. I'd say we could wait until I'm back on my feet, but I'll level with you. Love, it's worrying that we haven't seen a rescue vessel yet. Yeah, that's spooking me too. Where do I go to find Ava? Go back down to medical. The quickest route to Ava's link is through the stasis. If she's offline, boot her up again, if you can. And we've got to get a distress call signal sent. Okay, but you promised to get back on your feet when I return. I'm working on it. A princess with too much time on my hands and an amateur interest in electronics. So I know with the right cartridge, you can manage system diagnosis from this terminal.
Yeah, that line was different in the demo. Yeah, she said something like, I don't know these things about this thing.
Oh,
But
yeah,
later
you're
on in the
right.
game- yeah, but later in the game, she does know. So we had to, retrofit it.
Oh, right, ladder. Down. A breathing rhythm that is not my own. A thumping that does not record. Oh, we don't know who this is. Oh, that's right. There's like this voice that talks to her from somewhere.
Yeah. She's Bramza.
With what I know, a fear I have always known, but it's different. A power I have never known, a quiver at the light of the stars. When she moves, that light shifts, basks in it with eyes closed. Oh man, this music is... Sorry, I'm just basking in the music.
Glorious, yeah.
I love like there's like these lower, deeper tones in this with like the higher end of the piano too. This is a really good piece.
This was a piece created by one of the other guys here. This was Jordan's piece.
Is it?
And,
Nice.
Yeah, when we set out, we were kind of working together with him to find a direction for this character. It was kind of cool. I got to work with 2 other musicians like that, and we would share sounds and different instruments and stuff like that to kind of create this unified sound. It was a very good experience.
So this character has its own soundtrack, but it was actually created by another person. Like, was all the music of this character from that the other composer?
Yeah, so this character has this one theme that will play with him or them when they show up.
That's
so there's
really
not
awesome.
There's not multiple tracks. It's just this one. Yeah.
Okay. That's really awesome though, because it's already like an external thing in the story, right? Like this character is just like this ethereal, like I don't even know what this character's story arc is, but it's already like outside of what we know. So it's just neat that someone else was brought in to compose the music.
Sort of a meta thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's meta storytelling. That's really cool. My head, it's pounding. Whose voice is that? Here we go. Here he is. Oh, that's right. I had seen this in the demo. I forgot. He shows up here. It has been silent here for so long. Now that silence has changed shape. I am alone. Who are you? Love this character.
In the code, it's called Snow Globe. Because when I started working on them, they didn't have a name yet. So, Snow Globe it was.
I am 1,000 stolen voices, suddenly given potential. Potentially for what remains to be seen. Get out of my head! A moment longer, something is wrong aboard this lighthouse. Yeah, everyone's dead. Yes, but why are they still here? What a weird question. The dead bodies aren't going anywhere, right? What's that supposed to mean? I'm not certain. The only thing that's clear is you should already know. But you don't. What else do you not know? What is this I'm feeling? The pain, it's shifting. You do not know pain. And you don't know me. Feels like a deeper implication, right, Toasty? I'm starting to. What was that? Only a seer could get inside my head like that. Whoever they are, they're on this lighthouse, alive. They said they knew fear, but I didn't feel anything like that when our minds touched. The fear was all mine. Back already? Something really weird and horrible just happened to me. In my head. Someone in my head. Slow down. What do you mean? There's someone in your head. I mean, there was someone in my head speaking to me. Someone on the lighthouse. A seer, I swear. What did they say to you? Well, it ended. I appreciate that I didn't have to read all that again. It ended when they said they were starting to get to know me. How creepy is that? Very. We weren't told there was anyone like that on board when we arrived. If they're alive, then cough cough. Chaz says, unless he means their mind, soul, spirit, etc. are on the lighthouse, digital uploads separated from their now dead bodies. Maybe. Well, there's a question for everybody here. Would you upload your consciousness into an AI?
Probably not.
No.
Really?
No.
I think I would in a
Let me
heartbeat.
go down with the ship.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I would in a heartbeat.
Am I worth the hard drive space? I don't know.
I have like a lot of back pain from a back injury, and the idea of like being free of this body and just existing is pretty appealing.
Now there's a different situation.
Yeah.
But to like escape mortality, to be immortal, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I would do it. Does it delete the consciousness in my body? Like, am I making a copy Maclethest? That would be the weird thing. I've often thought about what it would be like to have like a clone of myself, and then like it would just evolve into one of us getting jealous over something. And it would end in conflict, I'm sure. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. The antidote did do its job, right? I think so, but it's not an immediate fix, Princess. It's gonna be a spell before I'm back to my usual myself. To my usual myself. What I was going to say is that if the seer is alive, then they might be behind the attack. You have to be careful, understand? No shit, but how am I supposed to defend myself from someone who can get in my head? Unless they're very powerful seer, they won't be able to do much beyond torment you. I know that's not exactly reassuring, but yeah, I'll see about getting Ava back online, providing I'm not talked to death before then. So this is where I'm gonna end it for today of gameplay.
Don't forget to save, even though there is an auto save.
Yeah. I haven't saved at all. That could have been pretty bad. There we go. So I had one more question I wanted to ask the two of you. And this is, for all of us, but for Chad as well, or anybody that's thinking about game development or any kind of project. What tips or words of advice can you give to people that are looking for a place to connect with other people, or game development? I know you guys found each other kind of at random through a Steam review.
That's me and Ross. Yeah, Donovan and I connected over Twitter.
Yeah.
I suppose the best advice I can give to somebody who's just starting is start small project, even small projects, several small projects, one after the other. It's better to go this way than start big, because it just progressively gets harder and harder and harder. So it's better to have something more self-contained to start with.
Good advice. As for where to meet people or how to meet people, I mean, there's a lot of ways. Game jams would be my advice for meeting people. Is join game jams. You can find them advertised on Twitter and on itch. And
oh, really? I didn't know
people even
that.
stream them on Twitch. Yeah, great way to meet people. There's Discord servers dedicated to different game jams that sometimes are as frequent as every month, or some that are a couple times a year. So that's a great way. Meet people, throw yourself into it, and I guess the only other advice on top of that is just keep meeting people. It's a people business like anything else, right? Nothing really gets made in a vacuum, and in order for you to make a career at it, you're going to have a whole network. So get out there, just stick your neck out there and meet people and have fun doing it.
Channels are great, I agree. But also Twitter is great, because indie devs like to post their stuff on Twitter. That's where Dave and I met. Dave, of course, is the person I made the Corruption Within with.
And I know I heard what Ross said earlier, but I was just kind of wondering for the two of you, like what. So you've uploaded the game, right? Like it's on Steam. It's been released as of Wednesday. Everybody can go buy it. What was like as soon as that like commit button got pressed? What was the first thing you did?
All right. So when I release a game, I ask a few people to test it the second that it goes live. Basically to make sure that the game downloads and launches. So I have like a number 3 designated testers, and the reason I do that is because the very first game I launched to Steam was Void Breach. That was in 2020, and because again something in the configurations was set wrong, the game didn't launch. But I was lucky enough that I was told about that, and in 5 minutes or so, and the mistake was fixed. But ever since, I make sure that I have people that test it for me and let me know. And once I got the okay, I basically sent a message to Ross, go, which meant you can tweet about it, that the game is live. And then I proceeded to tweet about it myself, post about it on forums, Discord channels, Facebook, everywhere I could, basically. Announce it on Steam, itch. That was a very intense hour.
Yeah. Did you how long did it take before you finally like relaxed? Was
hours?
It hours?
2 hours, yeah, something like that.
My answer is just going to be cross your fingers, crap your pants, and
yeah,
go do something distracting. Launching the soundtrack, or releasing the soundtrack, I guess, it's similar feelings. I must have remixed and remastered it a dozen times, it feels like, because as soon as you think you're happy with it, then you sleep on it and you wake up the next day and you think it sounds terrible. But at a certain point you need to be happy with it and just know that it's out there and it is what it is. People can love it, people can hate it, but you move on to the next thing. So yeah, you try not to let it play with your head too much.
Gondolier is asking how many energy drinks and coffees do you think it took to make a game?
I don't tend to drink energy drinks. I did have one on launch, I think. But yeah, I don't do game dev before having a cup of coffee before.
Gotcha.
I drink lots of coffee. Let's just say that.
It has been an absolute pleasure to have both of you, all 3 of you here. Really excited for you, and congratulations on getting the game out.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Such a huge thing. I'm gonna try to find some time.
Us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm gonna try to find some time to play this game, the rest of it on stream. I know next week I'm having a small surgery, so I'm gonna be out for a little bit, but when I get back I'm gonna try to do some evening streams of that, which I don't know would align with your time zones, Aviv. My evening streams.
These hours are great. Yeah.
Well, it'll be later in my evening, so it would be like 3 hours later from now, but
I think it's also good.
Okay.
I think I'm about an hour ahead of you, maybe, so yeah. Hour east of you.
Lost a train of thought, but yeah, I would like to finish this game. I'd like to get all the way through it. It would probably be later in the month. I know I've got one more long stream game I'd like to play through, the Blood Rain Betrayal side scroller, and then. Okay. Let me ask this. Do we feel like the DOS version of this game will be available by December? Is that a possibility? Maybe I should wait for that and have that be part of my special event month.
We will have to wait and see because there's more work to be done on it.
Sure.
But once I know, I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I would love to play this on the CRT. I kind of feel like that'll be like
that would be the dream.
Yeah, that will be the definitive version. Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Definitely keep me in the loop on that. Obviously, anything MIDI, and you all are always welcome in the Discord to, there's a creativity channel if you want to post about any of your projects. You're more than welcome. Everybody in the Discord's allowed to do that.
Oh, thank you.
And I would love to stay in touch. And I want to hear about the stuff that you're working on in the future.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Best of luck with the surgery and quick recovery.
Yeah. Thank you. And congratulations again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the Discord call. Everybody in chat, say goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again. Okay, for me, I'm going to go find Twitch chat. I'm going to find somebody to raid. And then go get things ready for dinner here. Thank you so much for being here. This was a really, really fun stream. All three of those gentlemen were fantastic. December, exactly. Thank you, Slim, Gondolarian, Krillin. Great to have you here. Topically, thank you for your help. Matt, Glad, Toasty, Chaz, everybody else that was in there. Let's see. And absolutely, like, if this game piques your interest at all, it's like $10. Go grab it. Support these guys, because they're fucking awesome. Let's head over to Lady Gamego's channel. She's working on Deus Ex Human Revolution, which is actually a game that I requested that she play, so it seems like the logical choice. Hi, Wolfie. Bye, Wolfie. I love y'all. I will see you tomorrow morning. Actually, me and Bearded Bogle are going to be playing Marathon 1 and co-op in the morning. So I'll be there for that. 10 a.m. Pacific time. Absolutely, Cosmic Boy. Alright, I'm hitting the raid button. Y'all have fun with LGG. I'm going to be lurking.